Now today I've been inspired by the gorgeous arum lily to create quite a simple design without any foliage. So if you want to learn how to create this style, stay with me for today's tutorial. Welcome back to today's tutorial. Now I have a private Facebook group called Sharon's Innovations Group, and one of the members on that group, called Jan Rawlinson, shared a really lovely design. In fact, she shared two photographs of two very simple designs that she'd created with some garden flowers, including the arum lily. And it sort of inspired me to create a couple of designs with arum lilies. It's something that I don't often buy to work with, and it's something that I forget is a lovely flower to use. So Jan, thank you very much for sharing those amazing flowers. I'm not going to create a design and copy what you've shared with us, but I've been inspired to look at using the Calla lily or the arum lily to help you understand how this amazing flower can be used. So I've got a fairly small container today. It's this little square cube, which is probably about 3 inches in width. And I'm going to use a piece of foam that will hopefully sit quite nicely in that container. Now I'm going to remove the foam from the top because I don't have any greenery and I don't want to have an excess amount of foam. So I'm just going to take the knife across the top to remove off that top section there, and then I haven't got to worry about covering the foam and adding in lots of small fussy bits of foliage. So if you don't want to use foam, you could do this design in some pin holder instead, but I'm going to do it in foam today because I know lots of you are still learning to arrange in floral foam. And I've got some beautiful arum lilies. Now we're in the process of filming a new online course, so it's an advanced hand tie course, and we've had some arum lilies in to do a couple of designs, so I'm going to use them in today's demonstration. Now one issue with the arum lily is that they don't like to be put in deep water because it tends to rot the stems, and I know that because I've learnt it and I teach it and I tell everybody. And what did I do? I stored them in quite deep water. So the bottoms of the stems are a little bit on the mushy side, but I've cut off the base of the flower and got rid of the mushy part on the bottom. So my Calla lilies are a little bit shorter than they should be, but you know, serves me right. Even the experts, or the supposed experts, make mistakes. So what I'm going to do here is bring my arum lilies down on one side of the floral foam. So this is my right side as I'm working, and I'm bringing them quite close together. There's a little bit of movement in the stem, which I quite like, so I'm going to almost twist them around one another. But you can see I'm on the right side of the foam, and at the moment the left side is completely free. Now if you're lucky enough to have arum lilies in the garden, then you're on to a winner. If you don't have arum lilies in the garden, then what I would suggest is keeping a lookout in the supermarkets, because they quite often have arum lily plants, Calla lily plants in the plant section, in amongst the flowers, and you can buy it, cut off the flowers to use in an arrangement, and then you can plant the plant itself in the garden. So I've got almost like a column, a line effect of the arum lilies coming down on one side, and I'm going to bring that down a little bit further, using up 5 of my arum lilies. Now if you're not part of my Facebook group, I'll just link it here in the bottom. You don't have to share photos on there, but you can actively support other arrangers and give them some feedback and some comments on their designs. And you'll get to learn some hints and tips along the way. So you can see I've just extended the line out a little bit towards the front. That's going to help give that illusion of 3 dimension, and it prevents my design becoming flat. You could do this with roses, you could do it with carnations. It doesn't have to be a Calla lily like this. And Look at this, isn't that gorgeous? So this is a commercially available hydrangea, and this is going to go flat to my foam, right down low, so that it's hiding a big proportion of my floral foam, but bringing me some texture and some colour right the way down to the bottom, and all these lovely colour tones linking really well together. Now to introduce a real bit of drama. If you've been in the florist industry for a while, you'll recognise this rose as being Black Baccarat. It's probably one of the most darkest roses. It almost looks like velvet if you look at it up close. It's got a beautiful shaped head. Some of these have been cut down shorter because I've used them in a previous design, but I'm going to cut them and group them really close together on the opposite side to the Calla lilies. This is going to introduce a little bit of drama. A beautiful rose to use at Halloween or in the autumn or Christmas time. And I'm just going to do that little cluster there together on what is the left hand side of the arrangement. Beautiful contrast in texture. You've got that soft velvety look of the rose against the sort of ruffledness of the hydrangea. And then I'm going to bring one of the roses towards the front as well, but nestled in quite low so that it's almost touching the foam. And I've got this sort of concentration of colour, that darker red on the opposite side. So this week I've had a beautiful rose in called Adele, and I've slightly reflexed the petals. So I've bent them back just to open the rose and to get that much bigger size head. This is a really fashionable trend at the moment, particularly in wedding work. But you then get this very large, wide open rose. And what I'm going to do with this one is cut it fairly short, tuck it in, down quite low, underneath the arum. Now what I've got to be careful of is that when I put the rose into the foam, I don't snap the rose when I hit the arum lily, because if you think about it, I've got all those stems of the arum lily in the foam, and then I've got to try and squeeze a little rose in alongside as well. So careful placement, tucked in down really low, and now I've just got the back to cover. And for that I'm going to use more of the hydrangea. I don't need the whole head. This is a classic hydrangea, so it's a really good quality, and I can cut off individual groups of flowers, tuck them down really low, and this is going to help cover the foam. So quite a simple design, nothing too fussy in there. If you can't get hold of the florist grade flowers that I've got here, then you'll easily get hydrangeas in the garden, and you can use some supermarket roses to create the same effect. So what do we think of that one? Bit different for this week. Small, dainty, but with some dramatic flowers. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then please do so. Hit that notification bell. Hit the notification bell if you want to be told every time I upload a new tutorial. I look forward to seeing you for the next video, and goodbye for now.